And I recognize myself for 5 minutes, and I support Congresswoman Hageman's legislation, H.R. 281, the Grizzly Bear State Management Act of 2025. The bill, again, instructs the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service to reinstate the 2017 rule delisting the greater Yellowstone ecosystem population of grizzly bears from the list of threatened and endangered species. The grizzly bear is not only an iconic species of the American West, but it's also part of a resounding success story of recovery. First listed under the Endangered Species Act in 1975, the greater Yellowstone ecosystem population of grizzly bears has since met every recovery goal that has been set for it. In fact, the population has doubled the federal recovery goal. And the idea that we're somehow ignoring scientific research and scientific data, I find preposterous. This is the former Fish and Wildlife Service under different administrations have twice tried to delist the species, and it's still listed. That's why we say the Endangered Species Act is like Hotel California. Once you get on the list, it's almost impossible to get off. Representative Hageman, if you wouldn't mind, you've stated that there's been tribal consultation. We know that there's mountains of scientific research that shows the grizzly bear has met all of its recovery goals. Why is the grizzly bear still listed?
Because there's a judge in Montana that does not want to allow them to be delisted. It doesn't have anything to do with the science, and it has absolutely nothing to do with carrying out the intent or letter of the law, the Endangered Species Act. It is about maintaining the species on the list for purposes of controlling large swaths of land and water resources. It's that simple.
So it's one person that's upending all the work, all the efforts, really upending the spirit of the Endangered Species Act because they have their own agenda.
Well, then what I would also say is we obviously have limited resources. The state of Wyoming does not have unlimited resources, and the federal government surely does not have unlimited resources. One of the primary problems with the Endangered Species Act is that, or the way that it has been implemented either by the Fish and Wildlife Service or because of activist judges, is that we can't focus on the species that actually need it. An example is the whooping crane, the California condor. There are species that truly do need our protection and need the resources to be made available so that we can protect them and recover them. When we are wasting money on a recovered species, those are resources that cannot be used for that purpose.
Yeah, and we've seen lots of different efforts from many different groups to kind of tie the hands of U.S. Fish and Wildlife. They file a lot of petitions all at one time and overwhelm the agency so that they can't address it, and by the law, they automatically go on the list if there hasn't been an answer in so much time. So if we truly cared about endangered species and wanted to recover species like the enabling legislation said was the goal, we would be doing less litigation in the courts and more science in the field. So again, I support this bill. I urge others to support it.
Chair, would you